Hello, everyday leaders. Here it is. It's Thursday, Friday. I don't know. Is it what day is it? It's Thursday.
Thursday, May
May
14th.
14th. Oh my gosh, I am losing track. Literally, I look at my calendar and I think it can't be that day. Maybe I didn't switch it. Here
It's
we
Thursday.
it is crazy. And we're
Yeah.
still battling. For those of you that are listening later than the original podcast, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 still in quarantine and starting to open up back all over the world. So I'm Melanie Ake with Everyday Leaders, and I am bringing people from around the world that are helping us be successful in our life and business through this crazy, crazy, crazy time. And I love celebrating people. So before we get on with our guest, I've just got to make a quick announcement because I usually have my John Maxwell hat on. However, all of our gear for the everyday leaders came in today. So, shirts and hats, and if you'd like a coffee mug, they're all ready. You can go to the website, everydayleaders.com, and get your gear. So, that was my fun announcement that I was going to make last night, but they hadn't come yet. So, oh my goodness.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. It's exciting. We've been
It
waiting
is.
to brand the right thing. So this year's theme was Change the World at the Leadership Summit. And really, people stepped up and really started teaching about how they are changing the world in their life. And Ruthann, you were one person that I celebrate at the top of the list that is thinking creatively about ways that you can change the world through all the business ideas that you're doing. And I said, you got to come on here and talk about this because,
Yay.
oh my gosh, thank you for coming on tonight.
Oh my gosh, thank you for that awesome compliment. Wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. And it's always fun talking with you. And it's always fun when you're talking with people who understand collaboration, don't get caught up in the whole competition thing. And when those ideas just start flowing, it's a high vibe time, right? I mean, that's kind of my word for today for some reason. I don't know why, but I just love collaborating. I love coming up with ideas. I was on a few phone calls today where, we were just kind of brainstorming and trying to figure some things out that would be different and unique. And I guess it's because in today's society, that is so important. Like, if you're like everybody else and you're doing the same exact thing in the same exact way, you're going to get lost. And I know we're going to be talking about websites here soon, but it's the same thing for your website too. You have got to figure out what that thing is that makes you different and what makes you stand out, and that you're not getting thrown into the pile with everybody else who's doing everything run of the mill. It really is about standing out. Standing out online is where you want to be. So yeah, so it's all fun for me. I love it.
It's funny because we've been teaching podcasting. And so for the last couple of weeks, we've been hosting classes and we've had a ton of people reach out and say, oh my gosh, I'm ready. I need to know how to share my voice. And where we start is not with the equipment, right?
Right.
It's what are you going to theme? Who's your audience? How do you want to represent yourself when you show up? And
yes.
And so as you started posting all of these ideas and things that you guys were starting to create, I thought, oh my gosh, we need to talk about this because there are so many people through what they're happening now with being isolated. They're either ready to get a divorce, sell their house, or start a business, right? Those are the three things.
Exactly.
And so if you're going to start your business, right, maybe you've decided you're going to go do something completely different that you've never thought about. And it has to start with a website because that's where people are. And that's the easiest place to show up. And so
it is.
EastCamp Creative is your company. And what you guys are doing is really on a platform that we use. I know a lot of people use different platforms, but Wix is what the Everyday Leaders platform and Joic Studios, we use Wix. And so it's been real easy for you to consult with us, Ruthann, to help us with questions about, hey, I want to try to get this done. And you're always so great about, hey, try this, or we learned this, or it's been updated. And so you are like the easiest person to work with. I want to just tell you
Oh,
that.
thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, one of the things with web design that is crucial because you have to realize that clients who are calling you or your people who are calling you, they need an answer because they're stuck and whatever it is that's out there online is in real time. So that's why we make it a priority to get back with people just as quickly as possible, answer questions as fast as possible. That's what adds the value to who we are as a company. So EastCamp Creative is actually myself and my business partner, Derek Spearman. He's our chief designer. So when you go to EastCamp Creative and you see our website, that is all him. So every website that we design that has the EastCamp logo and branding, Derek is the one that designs it. I'm in charge of sales and marketing. So we each took our strength and formed a company based on our strengths because we believe that a company that's built on strength will be a strong company intrinsically, and the stronger the foundation, the stronger the company will be going through something like a pandemic. So that's kind of how EastCamp is set up. Derek is our designer. I'm sales and marketing. And as we were talking one day, we were trying to figure out just some different things. The pandemic has caused us to look at our business and our business model as well. And we started talking about, well, maybe we could work with people in this industry, or maybe we should niche in that industry. We're just having that brainstorming conversation. And the one thing that kept coming up was working with business coaches. I have a lot of business coach friends, and in my conversations with them, there's a real struggle sometimes with the building, the consultation that they do with their clients, but then transferring the messaging and the ideas that they come up with onto the website. So a lot of their clients are DIYing their website, and sometimes the coach themselves is DIYing their website. But there's a huge disconnect between the quality of the work that they're putting out and the representation of that quality online. So as Derek and I were talking, we came up with what we feel connects the dots and fills in that gap. So we are putting together business coaching templates. So whether you're the business coach yourself, or if you want to use it for your clients, we're putting together these beautiful high-end templates that you can customize yourself. And they're not the Wix template. Like Wix is, you can go into Wix and you can you can get a free template. That's their thing, right? You come in, you get your free template, you customize it the way you want. However, there are still design limitations. So what we take is we start from scratch and we build a fully customized template set up specifically for service-based businesses. They have different needs. So the templates that we will have, they're already going to come pre-populated with the booking app. A lot of times people who work in the business coaching industry also do speaking engagements, or they have a book, or they have a podcast, and they have so many different things that it's really hard for them to figure out, how does this flow right? So we take all of that, put it in a prepackaged, beautiful, professional look, and boom, it's done. All you have to fill in is your information. So your about, your bio, if you will put in the Instagram feed for you on the bottom if you want. I mean, there are certain things we can add in addition to what we're setting up, but oh my gosh, they're going to look so good. You want to have, that's what you need to have to separate you out from all the other. There are 53,500 coaches in the world, 53,500. So what are you doing to separate yourself from the other 52,999? That's what you have to ask yourself, right? Wow. And so the main way that you are doing that is through your website. So if you look at your website and you're confused or you don't like it, what is going to make your potential client want to work with you as opposed to somebody else who maybe has taken the time and made the investment in making sure that their website stood out. So that's where we're bridging that gap, and we're going to do it in an affordable way. So anywhere between, we've done some research. So the price point will be anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500. So $997 to $1,500. So that way, the whole design aspect is done. And that's the biggest headache for people. They just don't know how to design the site. Mm-hmm. So we're taking that headache off. Check that off your list. Get the beautiful professional looking template. And if you need for us to, for, just a nominal fee, we will help you get your content into the site as well. So we also provide that as a service also. But literally, you could just purchase a template. We send it to you. You can upload, just change out your picture, change out your content, and boom, it's done. And you get yourself a really slam dunk, high vibe site. And so that's what I was talking about earlier. We're getting back to the high vibe. Websites have, you can tell when you land on a website, whether it's a high vibe or a low vibe site, right? Instantly. You land on it, and if it's old, if it's outdated, if it's stale, if it seems like they haven't changed their pictures out, or they haven't changed out any of their content, or you scroll down to the bottom and the copyright still says 2012, that's a low vibe site, people. Change your copyright date at the bottom and stay current.
I loved when you did that in January. You were like, okay, just for everybody on here, I just want you to know, go do this today.
Yes. That's right. Make sure at least you have your copyright date current. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, coaches understand vibrancy. They understand the law of attraction. Same rules apply when it comes to your online presence. You have got to have that high vibe, highly attracted. This is what's drawing people in. This is what's engaging people. It's got to look good. It's got to feel good. It's got to work right. It's got to function properly. And it needs to have all of those things on there so people can reach out to you linked right. You don't want someone clicking on your schedule now and it goes nowhere, or it goes to a broken link or a 404 message. Kiss of death, right? They're going somewhere else. Here's why. Because they're researching you. 70% of people research you before they buy from you, before they click, yes, I want to work with this person. They're researching you. So you figure 70% of those people are going to your website to learn about you. So that's your representation. This is your first impression that you're making with people, is your online presence. So make sure it's up to date, make sure it's looking really good, and make sure that all of your links and everything in your buttons, etc., are working properly. So all that does for you, what that does for you as a business coach specifically, is it adds more value to who you are and what you offer. Because when you have your potential client landing on your website, again, it just goes back to what's making you different. If your site doesn't look that great, then subconsciously, or maybe not so subconsciously, in their minds, they're thinking, I really want to be like that person. So if you're not putting your best foot forward, they don't want to be like you. They want to be like the other coach whose website looks really good. So you have to be thinking about those things as you're putting your site together, and as you're designing and developing your site. You have to think about, how does this look to my potential client? It's very, very important, because they're checking you out. It's kind of like dating in a way.
But it's so easy to do, right? When you have a template, it's really easy to do because it takes hours for somebody that's starting a business. So walk us through, if you don't have a business yet and you've never designed a website, you've never gone through the process, how many steps do you have to take to be able to have your own website? Like, what does that look like? The research behind, where do you find the domain? How many hours does that take before you even get to you?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, hours, it depends. So some people, it takes a lot longer than others. It really does depend on how technically savvy you are. It doesn't take long to get a domain name. The issue with domain names today is the one that you want available. So a lot of times people will come to us and say, if they haven't gotten their domain yet, I want it to be such and such and such.com. And then they go to find it and it's already taken. Mm-hmm. So researching and making sure that the domain that you want is available. That's number one. And you can go to GoDaddy. We do sites from GoDaddy all the time, but if you get a Wix site, they offer you your domain name free for a year. So you can get it through Wix as well. So you want to know what your domain name is. But, even before any of that, you have to figure out what it is that you're saying to your ideal client. So whatever industry that you're in, who's your ideal client and what's your message to them? And how is that message different than everybody else's? You have to figure that out first. That has to be number one, because we cannot design a site based on confusion and chaos. So if you're confused about your business, that's going to be reflected in your website. If you're not sure what it is exactly you're doing, or if you're not sure who it is you're talking to, that will be reflected on your website. So getting all of that information figured out beforehand, step number one. And that does take time. That does take a while. So the website is actually not your first step. That's actually like step 2 or 3 into the process. Figuring out who your ideal client is, what your messaging is to them, and then what the goal is that you want that visitor to take when they land on your site. Because the website is built around all of that. So figuring all of those things out first, which can take some time, then you figure out your domain name, and then you start creating all of your content. So you figure out what the messaging is you want on your homepage. What's your bio? Get your bio written. Get a professional picture taken. Professional picture. Make the investment to get your professional picture taken. What's your branding? What's your logo? Because we'll take all of that and then we create your site. So we'll take a look at your logo. What are the fonts they're using in there? What are the colors that they're using? And then we use that to stay consistent throughout the website. So here's a bell and whistle, red alert for me when I land on a website. I'll know that it's a DIY, surefire way to tell. Their logo is completely different than the whole rest of the site, right? The logo has maybe, just for example, purple and green, but the whole rest of the site's blue and red. It's like big red flag. So you want to make sure you're consistent with your branding throughout your site, because that alone makes it professional. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you can do if you're DIYing your site, another professional tip, leave your fonts to 3 or less. Don't use more than 3 fonts, because then it just does look crazy and chaotic. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll do one section in one font, another section in another font, and then another section in another font, and their pop-up is another completely different font. I mean, it's like font, yes, leave your fonts to 3 or less. Absolutely. Because that just draws into confusion and chaos. Mm-hmm. So keeping things simple, keep it simple. I know that sometimes it's really hard because there's a lot of beautiful fonts out there. I'm a font junkie. There's rarely a font that I don't like. I mean, there's just millions of them, but you really do need to keep it to 3. So pick 3 that you're going to use on your site consistently. And if they're in your logo, those are the ones you should probably consider using at least one of them. So that's another pro tip.
That is a great advice, because there are a lot of people now that are saying, okay, I've got an idea, or I've written a book, right? Mm-hmm. I've written a book and now I want to put my website around it. And then in the transition of that, they decide they're going to write another book on something completely different. And yes. So now their brand is changing, right? Because maybe they were speaking about something completely different in their life. And so sometimes it's hard, it's not easy. And sometimes it's right in front of you. I tell so many clients this. Yes. Sometimes it's right in front of you and you are thinking way too hard about it. Mm-hmm. And you're stuck because you're thinking it has to be perfect before you get to the step where you open up a website.
Right.
Right. And that's the way, like, you guys have designed these templates. So for anybody that is ready to go and says,
Mm-hmm.
great, I have this website. I just need a little tweaking. I just need a little
Mm-hmm.
coaching. I just need to raise it to get the high vibe so that
Right.
people can connect to me.
Yes.
Everybody's online right now. Everybody's
Yes.
online right now. So
Yes.
now's the
They
time,
are.
right?
Oh my gosh, there's never been a better time. Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of people out there that are turning their side hustle, considering making that, it's kind of pushing them into making it their main business. So, you know, it doesn't matter what business you're in, your online presence that's where people are finding you. There's no more Main Street, right? I mean, the pandemic only made that a little more clear to us.
Mm-hmm.
I've been telling people for a long time now, people aren't walking down Main Street and finding you. They're going to Google. That's Main Street today,
Mm-hmm.
Google. So, if that's where people are going to search for you and they find you, then you have to make sure that your website is as beautiful as you would your brick and mortar storefront,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's your homepage, that's your storefront. Even if you're a service-based business, that's your storefront. That is your best foot forward. That's where you want to put your best foot forward. I sometimes working with female entrepreneurs, I'll explain it this way. Your website is your wedding dress. That is the level you need to be thinking when you're putting your website together, because that's the emotion you're trying to evoke from your visitors. You want them to be like, oh my gosh, wow, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find out more about her, or let me find out more about this business, because look at this, it's gorgeous. Now, on the flip side, design alone and beauty alone is not going to convert. You have to have the messaging. It's all in a package. It's the package, everything together. So your messaging, your marketing, and your makeover. That's what I call it. Message, market, makeover. And not necessarily in that order, because your makeover is like in between there. So messaging, makeover, marketing. Those are the three things that, when done right, that's when you start seeing the conversions that your business should be getting.
I'm going to type this in right in here because I think that is so important. Say that again: messaging, marketing, and makeover.
Yep. So actually, if you want to do it in order, it's messaging, makeover, marketing.
And marketing. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to keep the. So tell me about, so the kind of people that you've been working with. So they come to you and they say, hey, I've got this website. I just need it updated, or I need to do this from scratch. Right. And so what do you think is kind of the best customer? What does your customer look like exactly?
Our best customer, they're the ones that understand that their website is not a cost, it's an investment. Because there's a huge difference in that mindset. If you're looking at your website as a cost, then it's not going to turn out the way that you want it to. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the high performance, high converting website that you need it to be to stay in business. It really is an investment. You're paying a professional to do their job because it's not your sweet spot. And, the business owners that we work with, they know their business. That's what they know. They don't know web design. And that's why they come to us. They come to us when they're at a level of either frustration, or they're just ready to hand it off because they know they don't want to touch it. Like, they know this is my weakness and we want to hire someone that's going to get it done right. Mm-hmm. So it's the ideal client for us is someone that understands that they're going to have to put a little bit of money into getting it right. So if someone is out there and they've spent hours trying to figure out their website and it still isn't right, that's the time to say, you know what, I need to delegate this to someone that knows what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I need to make that investment in my business and in myself, because too many times people end up wasting so much time trying to get their website set up that it's taking them away from working in their business and doing their business. So they're actually losing money by not putting that money into the website, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It is an investment. What you said, and I think many people go into this and say, oh, I'm going to pay the $349 or whatever. I'm going to get the annual plan. I'm going to just jump into having a basic website. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I'll get that next. And because it takes too long to learn it. But if they have somebody like you that's a coach that can say, look, here's a template, put this information in here. You have to go to somebody that's already been there, right? As we know, as leadership coaches, if you're going to hire somebody that really knows their craft and knows this space, then that's where you guys, this wheelhouse is so important for you to get the word out, because you can make this so easy for somebody that's just trying to be successful, but they want to spend their time in their business, not on the website. And that's where I think is key, because you can spend endless hours and months trying to figure out, things that aren't working or things that aren't syncing or trying to get email lists created. And so having you takes away all of that pain and fear.
Absolutely. And that's what we want to do. We want to help people. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about making life easier for them. And the website issue is a huge issue for a lot of business owners. So if we're able to help free up their time and give them a really high performing website, at the end of the day, we're happy because we help them to be able to do that. So, it's really about serving our fellow business owners, because we're small business owners ourselves. So we get it. We understand. We have issues that we deal with that don't deal with web design as small business owners. So we know that there are things that we don't get that we're delegating to somebody else. Let's take, for an example, an accountant. I do not do my own books. There's no way. I'm not a numbers person. And I know that's a weakness for me. So we have an accountant that does our books, because I don't want it. It would take me, that would be 5 hours out of my week that I should be spending doing other things for my business, and not that.
Stay in your strength zone, right? That's it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So when we talked before, you wanted to give people a fantastic offer, a fantastic opportunity if they're listening tonight or if they watch this later. And so I'm going to bring up your website right now, and I'm going to show this on the screen, because I think this is fabulous for anybody, right? Anybody that needs assistance. Go right now to EastCamp Creative, and I'm going to bring the website up so you can see it. And this is where you're gonna see it. So get a free 30-minute website consultation. This is awesome. This is really fantastic, Ruthann.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. It's almost like a therapy session, to be honest with you, because as we talk through the website, it really becomes a moment of time where people are just really opening up about their frustrations of what they have with their website. And it really is like a website therapy session, literally. Because, I'm explaining to them, okay, well, you could do this. And, I'll take them through the homepage and give them honest feedback. And really, my whole goal in this consultation is to put your mind at ease. So by the time we're done with this 30-minute conversation, you're more confident about how your website looks. That's the whole goal. So, at the end of 30 minutes, we're going to go through whatever pain points you have. I'll give you some honest feedback, what you can do to make it look more professional, how to elevate it, different things that you can do, so that by the end of that, by the time you hang up, you have been empowered and you're proud of the website that you have from the changes that we were able to make. Now, it depends on the level of where your website is at currently. And, I will be honest in that phone conversation, and I will say, it's time for you to move over into a more professional looking website, because sometimes they're just too far gone, to be honest,
It's that 2012 copyright, right?
Exactly. Yes. If you have not touched your website since 2012, 30 minutes ain't going to cut it. So just be brutally honest. But we'll do our best anyway.
Well, there's a lot of comments on here. People are excited that you are here live tonight. Dean Renfro, he lives in Texas and he is cheering you on. Beverly Miller is on
Dean.
here. Beverly Miller.
Yay.
Glennis D'Souza. I don't know that I'm saying that right. But very, very excited. She said, this resonates with me. I want a good website and paid someone to do it, but waiting for a couple of weeks to get content back. So here's I'm going to show this on here because I think that's really important, right? And it's the timing, and you've got to have expectations for what you really want to accomplish. So I think this is really great. David McGlennon says, you are a rock star.
Yay, David's here. That's awesome.
So great. So got lots of great comments on here and friends that are supporting you. So,
awesome.
Where was that? Oh, yes. Hello, Kimberly. This is wonderful.
Hi, Kimberly. Yay.
So thank you guys for following tonight. This has been really fantastic. I want to encourage everybody. If you've been listening to this, if you just jumped on, if you're just catching this on the replay, on YouTube, anywhere that you're watching, go back and start from the very beginning to understand what EastCamp Creative can do for your websites, because it's really important. Right now is the time to revamp that. If you've just been cleaning out your closets and teaching your kids online and trying to figure out how you're going to set your office up at home, all right, it's been 8 weeks. You should have that figured out. Now it's time to get online and look at your website and just give it a once over. And you get a free 30-minute consultation with Ruthann. So go to eastcampcreative.com right now, sign up for your free 30 minutes and see if she can help you just make it a high vibe website. I guarantee it'll really change the way your business starts coming to you.
Absolutely. It will, for sure. Yeah. We'll elevate your site for you. We'll get working on it.
I think this is wonderful. I am so excited that you were able to share tonight because, it's a pain point. And we say businesses are created in times of chaos. And so everything that we're thinking about, if you can step into that, if you have a dream, if you have an idea, if you have a theme, if you have a product, if you've written a book, if you have a storefront, but you're thinking I maybe need to go online because of the financial situations, maybe you're going to have an online business versus a storefront business. Those are all the things that would qualify you to get a consultation with Ruthann.
Yes.
Step into
absolutely.
it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just add this one last thing too. So for clients that sign on with us, we actually take them through a business consultation call where we're actually coaching them and talking about their business, because without understanding their business and what their goals are, it does not make sense to move on to the design aspect. That call is really an hour long, and sometimes it's an hour and a half or 2. But truthfully, for all the business coaches out there, we will be sending people to business coaches, because that 2-hour call that we do is not enough to get them to that point where they're figuring out their messaging. Excuse me. They really need someone that is in the business coach mode to be able to help them really drill down with that. Then they can come back and do the website part. So just wanted to throw that out there.
So again, right, if you're a business coach and even if you're a business coach needing a website design, that's the biggest deal right now.
Absolutely.
52,000 coaches out there. I know there's a lot more than that. There's a lot more than that, I'm sure now.
53.
everybody's like, I'm an expert. I can do this. I can get on YouTube. You know, you see Suzanne Summers like,
Right.
hey, we got the thigh master out again.
Yeah.
But there's,
Yes,
uh,
exactly.
I just think it's great. I love celebrating you. You are just a woman on the move, girl. And
Thanks. So are you.
yeah, I'm excited to help you and share this message. And I know that, you know, it's important and you're wonderful and you're good at what you do. And so
Thanks.
making it easier for business leaders to say, you know, I can't do it all on my own. We know we need an inner circle. We know we need to put ourselves in positions where it's going to be easy and we can trust the people that we're doing business with. So,
Right.
so I want to celebrate you. I encourage people to go get their 30-minute consultation with you as soon as you can. Sign up because she's going to get really busy.
Yeah. Sign up fast. Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it. This is wonderful. What you're doing is absolutely fabulous. Just
No.
kudos to you. You're awesome. You're a
Well,
rock star too.
girl. I am excited for your business. Will you come back and share with us the things that are happening after you start, lifting off this whole new business coaching collaborative idea? I'd
Absolutely.
love to just follow you on this journey and see
Mhm.
how we can continue to help you with this.
Maybe we can do a before and after of someone who signs up as a result of your show. We can do an Everyday Leaders 50 and 50 before and after website transformation.
Oh, that would be awesome. All right, you heard it here. And you can join us live because we can do a split screen and you can have your own
Yes.
testimonial. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
That'd be
All right.
fun.
All right,
Do
let's put
it.
everybody's name in a hat tonight
There
and
you go.
have a drawing.
Sounds good to me.
That'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
All right, Ruthann, thank you for coming on. Love you. I love what you're doing and
Thanks. Love you too.
keep doing it, girl. Keep doing it.
You too. Thanks again. I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks,
Uh,
everybody.
all right, everybody, continue to be everyday leaders in your life because you too can change the world. Thanks for joining us.